Hello and welcome to this Path to Eagle workshop. In this workshop, we will discuss the process of advancing from Life to Eagle Scout, including timing of rank, leadership, and the Eagle Scout Service Project.
Let's discuss some statistics about scouting. First, of every 100 scouts, 45 will later serve in the military. 1 in 100 will save a life with the skills they learned in scouting. Amazingly, 2 out of the 100 will use those skills to save their own lives. You may have heard about the 4% in scouting. Well, this number comes from 4 out of 100 scouts will attain the rank of Eagle Scout. Because of scouting's awesome leadership training and opportunities, 75 of 100 scouts will later in life be leaders in business, religion, and politics. Also, 17 of these 100 young scouts will become adult scout leaders.
Here is a sampling of some famous Eagle Scouts. The first person to walk on the moon, Neil Armstrong, was an Eagle Scout. Noted filmmaker of such movies as Jaws, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Jurassic Park, and Saving Private Ryan, Steven Spielberg is an Eagle Scout. He got his start making movies when he completed the Photography Merit Badge. J.W. Marriott Jr., director of hotel and hospitality company Marriott International, is an Eagle Scout. Gerald Ford, 38th President of the United States, stated that his Eagle rank was one of his proudest achievements. Finally, Sherrod Brown is an Eagle Scout and U.S. Senator from Ohio. He regularly replies to letters from Scouts writing him when completing the Citizenship in the Nation Merit Badge about the value of being an Eagle Scout.
So we heard about some famous people becoming Eagle Scouts. How about you? Well, here are some reasons for becoming an Eagle Scout. You will learn valuable leadership skills and learn schedule keeping and project management. When applying for college and entering the military, being an Eagle Scout is a sign of dependability and perseverance. While grades, test scores, and extracurricular activities are important, being an Eagle Scout is an important distinction on scholarship applications. And finally, how about your personal pride? There is a true sense of accomplishment. If you can earn Eagle, you can do anything.
So let's dig into the requirements for becoming an Eagle Scout. You must reach the rank of Life Scout no later than 6 months before your 18th birthday. This is because one of the requirements of Eagle Scout is to serve 6 months in a troop leadership position. You must earn 21 merit badges, 13 of which are required. Finally, you must plan, manage, and execute an approved service project. While many scouts wait until that magical 17.5-year mark, that is often cutting it too close. We recommend you make a goal to try to earn Eagle Scout prior to your 17th birthday.
Okay, so we reviewed all the requirements for the Eagle Scout rank. But how do you get there? You can always do things sequentially. In other words, earn all your merit badges first and then do your project. Many scouts do this. However, you have to make sure you have enough time to do this. For instance, if you're building something, it's hard to build your project in the winter. So we recommend you work on everything consecutively. In other words, try to accomplish something on each of the various requirements. Let me show you a flow chart that illustrates this.
Let's talk about the top timeline first. This is where you need to be making sure you have your leadership position that you need to hold for 6 months. You also will likely be a very busy high schooler, so make sure you find balance and keep up with your scout spirit. Be careful with any merit badges that have time restrictions. For instance, personal fitness requires a 12-week fitness plan. Personal management requires that you track your personal budget for 13 weeks. Family life requires chore tracking for 90 days. Watch your calendar time with these. On the bottom timeline, you can begin working on your project. Start with a project concept, the who and the what. What do you want to do, and who do you want to do it for? Work with your project coach on the project proposal, then get the 4 required signatures.
Next, you can work 3 paths simultaneously. For your advancement, Get a copy of your advancement report and make sure that everything is completed and recorded. On the bottom line, work with your coach on your project plan. Do your project and complete the after project report, which includes signatures. While you're doing all of this, begin your EAGLE application. Request recommendations from a minimum of 3 persons and get letters if necessary, and prepare a statement of life purpose, ambitions, and list of positions and awards. Finally, you can have your Scoutmaster Conference after all of this is done. You must have your Scoutmaster Conference before your 18th birthday.
After your Scoutmaster Conference, let's see what else we need to do. The application goes to the District Advancement Committee. In our district, we run the application through a data check. After that, we send the application to the council for certification. References are checked. In our council, that is with letters, and the application is certified. Then the EAGLE pack is sent back to the District Advancement Committee, who will organize with your troop a board of review. The EAGLE Board of Review must be held no later than 3 months after your 18th birthday.
After successful completion of your Board of Review, the Council sends the application to BSA National Office for approval. After that is complete, congratulations, you are an Eagle Scout. Your family or troop may want to have a court of honor for you so you can celebrate.
Let's take a moment to discuss the differing roles of an Eagle Project Coach and your Scoutmaster. You do not have to have an Eagle Project Coach, but having one greatly increases a successful outcome. An Eagle Project Coach is someone that is knowledgeable about the Eagle rank process and guides and advises the Scout. The Eagle Coach does not have any approval authority, but is a trusted advisor for the Scout. Eagle Project Coaches must be registered Scouters and be current with youth protection training. The Scoutmaster, of course, will guide the Scout on his Eagle Project as well.
Okay, so we went through the timeline of the EAGLE process. Let's now work on the project workbook. There are 3 parts: the proposal, the plan, and the final plan.
Let's start with the proposal. The proposal stage is when you figure out who you will do the project for and what the project will be. Projects must be for a religious institution, a school, or your community. Many projects fall into 2 general types: collecting and building. Many Scouts build things like boardwalks and benches, but others collect items doing food, shoe, or personal hygiene product drives. It can be hard to figure out what you want to do and who you want to do the project for, and you may have a couple of false starts, and that's okay. There is no requirement on the amount of man-hours for the project, but it should be large enough to show the Scout's ability to lead people to completion. In the proposal, you need to roughly outline the tools, supplies, and materials. You must also figure a rough cost estimate and where you are getting the funding. Safety considerations should also be preliminarily determined in this part. You don't need all the details completely figured out in the proposal stage. That will be for the next phase.
So once you have your proposal approved, you can begin working with your coach on the project plan. The project plan is an expansion of the proposal. Included is a step-by-step process and detailed cost estimate. Also included are detailed tools, supplies, and material lists. Once you have it completed and in talking with your coach, you can then complete your project with all your volunteers.
During your project, make sure you keep notes, take photos, and keep track of total hours spent on the project. After your project is done, you need to complete a final plan report. Included in the report are notes about what went well and what did not. Also included are descriptions about any changes and what were any leadership challenges. When the report is done, it needs to be signed by the beneficiary and your Scoutmaster.
Okay, so now let's get into the EAGLE Project Workbook. The latest version can be found at the web link shown, and it is a fillable PDF. It changes about once a year, so make sure you use the current one. A tip about the workbook: it is not required, but we recommend you use a 3-ring binder with a clear cover. Make a nice cover art for it and slip that into the clear cover. This book will get looked at by a lot of people and will be used at your project site, so having it to be durable is great. Also recommended is the use of sheet protectors for each sheet of the workbook. This first page here just asks for your name and the name of your project.
This next page includes all relevant contact information. A few things to point out on this page. Your BSA ID number is required to be entered. You can find this on your ID card that you get every year. It should be on your profile on Scoutbook, or you can ask your Troop Advancement Chairperson to look it up for you. The rest is fill in the blank. For the project beneficiary, this is the organization you are doing the project for. Under that is the actual contact name at the organization. At the bottom is a spot for project coach. Contact your advancement chairperson if you do not have a project coach in your troop. We have also included the contact information for Miami Valley Council.
This next page is to get your reader introduced to the project. The description and benefit is important, and where we see some scouts not start on the right foot. For the project description, be as precise as you can. Describe the location and any specific dimensions or goals of your project. For instance, for a boardwalk, say how long and wide it is. For a collections project, write in a goal of collection of so many donations. There are 2 boxes for sketches or photos to be inserted. These are useful, but you can also print out large photos or drawings and include them as supplemental pages. For a build project, it is useful to have an aerial view of the project and ground photos of the current site. Including photo examples of what you want to achieve are excellent. Other cells to fill in are the benefit to the project organization and when you think you will start and complete the project. How you will give leadership is written here. Remember, that is the purpose of an Eagle project. The last 2 slots are materials and supplies. Materials are things that will be consumed by the project, and you don't have to be exact here. For a landscaping project, materials are shrubs, mulch, landscape timbers, and timber nails. Supplies are things you can use up in the project, like gasoline, food, and water, trash bags, and maybe disposable gloves.
On the next page, you need to list the tools you will require. Give it your best effort, but be as comprehensive as you can and think of all you will need. For instance, if you need a drill, you will need drill bits. If you are using electric tools, you need extension cords. You might need tables or sawhorses. If you are painting, you need drop cloths. Other needs include things that don't fit neatly into the other categories. An idea is that you might need access to a building for water, electricity, or bathrooms. Any permits or permissions should be listed. This might be a building permit. In the preliminary cost estimate, make your best estimate at this point. In the box to the right, make sure you state how the project will be funded. Finally, complete a list of project phases.
Finally, on the last page of the proposal, include how logistics will be handled. Will scouts transport themselves to the project site? Will there be carpooling? How will your materials get delivered? The next slot is for safety concerns. Don't minimize this part. Think of all the safety issues and how you will handle them. For a collections project, you might want to use the buddy system and be concerned with crossing streets. Pressure-treated wood requires specific personal protection. Same with stain or paint. It's important to look at the guide to safe scouting for important safety recommendations, especially age restrictions on the use of certain tools. We've included a link to the guide. Finally, there are 5 signatures required here. Make sure the Eagle candidate signs it. We often see that missing. Things can vary, but the usual order of signatures here is the scout first, beneficiary second, scoutmaster third, troop committee fourth, and then the council or district approval. Once you get all those signatures, hooray! Now you can begin on your detailed plan.
Okay, so you got through one of the harder phases of the project, getting your concept of what to do and for what entity. You also got all of your signatures. Now you need to work with your project coach to complete the project plan. The project plan will be a more complete description of everything that needs to be done. We often tell scouts that if for some reason you were to be sick or absent on your project day, would your plan be complete enough so that someone else could lead this project to a successful conclusion? This first page is just for your name, the project name, and your project dates.
This first section includes a block to list some comments from the proposal review and any changes in the project description since the proposal was complete. If you have changes, make sure they are acceptable to your beneficiary. Major changes should be discussed with your project coach. There is also a section here to describe the present condition of the site and your project phases. Project phases are things like buying materials, inviting volunteers, conducting the project, and wrapping up the project.
This next page starts with work processes. This is a step-by-step list of exactly how to do your project. This does not normally fit in the block provided, so write this out on a separate page. This is where you get really detailed on each step for the actual project day or days. Break your project down into the smallest components possible. The next item is attachments. A few blocks are provided, but again, scouts include on separate pages any site plans, construction plans, cutting diagrams, or patterns. Include as much as you need to get the project accomplished successfully. Next are any permits or permissions you need. This was listed in your proposal, but you may have more information on additional permits now. Lastly on this page is a materials list. Be very detailed with the list and include all sizes and product names if possible. Many of the contractor supply and home centers will develop an estimate list for you, or you can use their website tools.
This third page includes a section for supplies. Again, be as complete and exact as possible. This page also includes a list for all the exact tools you need to obtain. Don't include a cost unless you have to rent something. Most tools are brought by volunteers. Under Who Will Operate, consult the guide to Safe Scouting. For instance, only adults can work with power tools like saws. Finally, complete a wrap-up of all the costs and how you will obtain the funding for your project.
This next page has a variety of questions, but they are all still important. Starting at the top is a table for jobs and who you need to do the jobs to successfully complete your project. In the middle is where you write down how you will communicate completing the project and how to be safe on project day. Finally, the bottom part of the page includes details about logistics, especially where restrooms are located.
This final page goes into details about safety. One of the big parts of this segment is not just identifying the safety issues you will encounter, but how will you protect your workers from hazards and how you will render first aid if they get hurt. Normally included are things like scratches, cuts, and exposure to poisonous plants in the weather. However, there is one other important section that discusses hazardous materials or chemicals. Examples we often see here are paint, stain, pressure-treated lumber, and concrete. A great place to learn more about these hazards and associated first aid are the safety data sheets for these materials, which can usually be found on the internet. A best practice is to actually print out these safety data sheets and include them in your project binder. Also on this page are contingency plans if your project date needs to be postponed. We often see in this block a backup date in case the project day has a weather issue. Finally, include any comments from your project coach. That's it. When you are done with these sections, you are ready to go recruit your volunteers and get your project done.
Some projects are funded by the beneficiary, but not all of them are. If your project is not funded by the beneficiary, you, your parents or guardians, your unit or its chartered organization, or parents or members in your unit, you must fill out the fundraising plan application. This is like a mini project plan, and you need to get it approved by the beneficiary, your unit leader, and district advancement chairperson. Examples of when you need to complete this form is if you are doing a car wash, bake sale, or GoFundMe for your project.
Now that you are done with the project, you need to complete the project report, which some of us call the after action report. It has to be signed by your unit leader and the beneficiary.
The important thing about the project report is to fill it out as soon as possible after your project is complete, so the memories of the experience are fresh in your mind. The first page includes sections for you to fill in about any changes you made to your project during its execution. Also, was there anything that was challenging and went well?
Page 2 of the project report includes sections about your leadership and asks questions like, how did you demonstrate leadership? And what was the most difficult part of being a leader? Also, there is a section to fill in the man-hours required for the project. Remember to include all the time you and any coaches and your volunteers spent on the planning and execution of the project. This part is sometimes not calculated correctly. A man-hour is the time one person spends on your project. For instance, if you and 9 of your helpers spent an 8-hour day on your project, then the man-hours spent would be 10 times 8, which equals 80 man-hours.
This page is where you describe how your final funding occurred. Did you have any funds left over, and what did you do with the extra money? There are also spots to enter photos from your project. It is good to enter a few photos here, but we recommend you also include as many larger photos as you can in your project binder. These photos will be useful during your Eagle Board of Review. Finally, at the bottom of this page are spots for you, your unit leader, and the beneficiary to sign. Congratulations, you are now done with your Eagle Scout service project.
So you have your project complete. All your merit badges are earned. You have completed your 6 months of service and all the other requirements. It is now time to start working on your Eagle Scout rank application. The application includes key dates, references, and locations for all the required signatures.
This first page of the application includes data about the Scout, such as birthday, Life Scout Board of Review date, and contact information. The bottom part of the first page is a location to list the merit badges earned and their dates. It is important to get an advancement report from your troop's advancement coordinator or your Scoutmaster so that this portion is accurately completed. This report should be attached to the application. For the either or merit badges, just cross out the one you did not complete. For instance, if you earned life-saving instead of emergency preparedness, then cross out emergency preparedness on the chart. For references, complete all slots unless you are not employed. Like we mentioned before, our council checks references by receiving letters of recommendation. A minimum of 3 letters are required to be sent to the council office, not to you. More letters than just the minimum is recommended in case a letter writer falls through.
The second page is a place to enter your troop position as a Life Scout and facts about your Eagle Scout service project. You must also have a unit leader conference. This is a very rewarding meeting between you and your Scoutmaster and must be done before your 18th birthday. Finally, you must sign the application. In preparing for your Board of Review, prepare a statement of ambitions and life purpose, as well as a list of awards and positions held in other organizations. There is no set format for this, but many Scouts describe if they are going to college or the military, if they want to have a family, what their desired career may be, and how they will continue being involved in Scouts in the future. Finally, there are unit signatures and then the entire package, your application, project workbook, and ambitions statement, goes to the district advancement chairperson who takes it to council for certification. After certification, paperwork is released to the district advancement chairperson, and a board of review can be scheduled at your unit.
Upon certification of the application and receipt of all the recommendation letters, the district advancement coordinator will contact your unit leader to set up a board of review. The board is comprised of 3 to 6 members selected by the unit and a council representative. Board members must be at least 21 years old. Unit leaders, assistant unit leaders, and family members cannot participate in the Board of Review. Unit leaders can introduce the scout and can sit in the Board of Review room, but only as observers. Family members should be close by, however, to congratulate the scout and thank the board members at completion of the board meeting. The Board of Review must be completed no later than 3 months past the scout's 18th birthday.
The Board of Review is a culminating experience for the scout and an enriching discussion. A few tips for your Board of Review. Make sure you are rested. Wear a full Class A uniform with the merit badge sash. Make sure the uniform is clean, in good condition, and includes all current patches. Bring your Scout Handbook to the Board of Review. Be prepared ahead of time with answers about your scouting experience. There are many websites with sample questions you can review. Be especially prepared to describe what duty to God and reverence means to you. Remember, these points are in the Scout Oath and Scout Law.
At the Board of Review, board members meet 15 minutes early to review your Eagle application, letters of recommendation, and project workbook. Then the scout is introduced to the board and the meeting begins. The board members will discuss your scouting experiences with you. This is not a retest of requirements. The discussion will go until a natural conclusion, which is generally between 30 minutes and 1 hour. At that point, the scout will be asked to leave the room so the board can discuss their findings. The board must make a unanimous decision on the rank award. After the board makes their decision, the scout returns with their scoutmaster and parents. If the rank is approved, then you have just earned the rank of Eagle Scout. At this time, your application materials are sent back to Council to send to the National Office for final approval. In the rare instance that the board does not unanimously approve the scout for the rank, there is an appeal process.
Congratulations! You are now an Eagle Scout. If you have more questions about the process, contact your unit leader, district advancement coordinator, or council office. We hope you found this seminar helpful for your path to Eagle.